Welcome to the East Palo Alto Tennis and Tutoring program. My name is Keisha Weeks and I'm the Academic Director, and my job today is to help you understand what it means to be a part of this very unique organization. The first question you might ask is, what is EPATT? The East Palo Alto Tennis and Tutoring program offers a unique mix of one-on-one tutoring, group tennis instruction, parent advocacy, enrichment activities, and study skills for each of its participants, with the goal being college and career readiness. That's right, from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, our job, what we've taken to be our charge, is to make sure that each student who participates is ready, fully prepared for what they want to do once they graduate from high school. Why college and career readiness? Well, the research has proven that a high school diploma is no longer sufficient for students to be able to get a job in the Bay Area. The tech jobs and the higher professions require that students have some level of degree, and in many cases, an advanced degree. So if you want your kids to have a future where they can live in the Bay Area and make a wage that supports their lifestyle and their family, they have to go to college. And if they're going to go to college, we want to make sure that they're ready. All right, quick pop quiz. What percent of East Palo Alto residents have a bachelor's degree? Is it A, 100%, B, 50%, C, 75%, or D, 16.9? Take a moment. Sorry. It's 16.9. That's right. Currently, only 16.9% of the residents of the city of East Palo Alto have a bachelor's degree or higher. So what does that mean for you? That means that a majority of the residents don't have a degree. So if you want your child to be one of the 16.9%, then something different has to happen. The way we say it here at EPATT is, if your home and your activities and what your child does in your life resembles that of all your friends, neighbors, relatives, and cousins, odds are you're not a part of the 16.9. So if you're going to make sure that your child stands out as one of the 16.9, then a lot of things have to change. A lot of things have to change at school, at home, and with the support of EPATT, hopefully that whole package results in them being ready to achieve their goals. Okay, now it's time to talk about some of the logistics. So as I mentioned earlier, EPATT is a kindergarten through 12th grade program. However, our program is divided into 3 tiers. We have the elementary school group, the middle school group, and the high school group. Why 3 groups? Because at each stage of development, students require different types of supports. So we've divided our program with different hours, different staff members, and a different structure to make sure that it meets the unique needs of each tier. Schedule. Well, as you can see here, we're an after-school program. We operate between the hours of 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. And depending on the age of your student, you can see the times that they would have to be present at the program. Okay, time for the million-dollar question. How much does all of this cost? Well, the simple answer is nothing. It's absolutely free. But the reality that you and I both know is that nothing in life that has value is cheap. And so what EPATT does cost is a lot from you and your child. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the requirements for participation. Parents, the number one thing we require is your active involvement. You are by far the most important person in your child's life today and forever. Therefore, it's imperative that you're always involved with what's going on at EPATT. This isn't the kind of place where you could just bring your kid and something magically delicious takes place. You've got to be right here with them, right here involved with the staff, making sure that what we're doing has the desired effect. We also require your attendance. We have meetings and workshops all designed to help you on your way. You also have to feed us. Not us personally, but the children. They're here until 8 p.m. They require nourishment, and so you help us by signing up on a calendar to rotate in to bring food for the students. Now, what I talked about may sound like a lot. I mean, it is going to be a lot more than what you might expect from a regular after-school program, but I have to say, it is worth it. Students who have graduated from the East Palo Alto Tennis and Tutoring program are doing amazing things. They're changing the world. They're coming back and changing our community. And not only do they have a degree, but these are students who are interested in advancing the opportunities of students just like themselves, whether the industry that they're in is education or engineering. The students who come to EPATT are both intelligent and community-oriented. And if that's something you want for your child, then just take a look at some of the great things our graduates have done and envision your child's face here. As with any good relationship, you do want to make sure that it's working out for all parties involved. So at EPATT, we do believe strongly in accountability. We check at every quarter point to make sure that all the stuff that we said we were going to do and all the stuff you said you were going to do is actually happening. And the way we do that is through something called the EPATT report card. I know, right? You thought you were done with the report cards after you left school? We got one right here. So what the EPATT report card does is it asks the question, is there impact happening? Have you fulfilled your parent commitment? Is your student motivated? And how are they doing on the tennis court? Can they beat me? Have you seen my forehand? Flawless. Alright, let's do a quick check to make sure that you actually qualify to be in the program. Let's see if you can answer yes to all of the following questions. Number 1, do you reside in East Palo Alto or Eastern Menlo Park? Check. Number 2, are you committed? Not like to a facility, but are you committed to making sure that your children can complete this journey with all the ups and downs that we know will ensue? Check. Are your children motivated? Now hold on. Not are they perfect or do they not have any problems that, we may need to work with, but will they respond to the interventions that we're trying to bring here? Will they at least be willing to change? Check. Well, if you've answered yes to all those questions, then you are the kind of family that we want to partner with, and we hope that we're the kind of program that's going to make you and your children successful in achieving your goals. Now it's time for the what EPATT is not. So I've spent a lot of time telling you what we are, but I just want to cover some of the bases to make sure that you don't have any misconceptions about what it is we do here. Number 1, EPATT is not a babysitting service. So if you're just looking for a place for your kids to go and kind of hang out while you work, this is probably not that place. EPATT is not a fun place for kids to hang out. They might have fun, incidentally, while being here, but I must say that we're a pretty no-nonsense outfit. We have a lot of rules and we enforce them. So if your child comes home and tells you after their first week, "Oh, Mom, I don't like it at EPATT. They're so mean. They made me sit in my chair. They made me pull out my homework. They were making sure my backpack was organized." More than likely, your kid is telling the truth. The question is, though, isn't that why you sent them to us? I hope they do have a great time, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that this isn't a carnival. EPATT is not a tutoring program for people looking for specific test prep. So if that's what you're looking for, you might want to consider Kumon or Kaplan as good services. Plus, there's lots of online things that kids can do to prepare for tests. EPATT is not a drop-in center. We're an enrolled program, so kids are expected to be here on their designated days at their designated times. Not extra days, not switching or swapping it around, but they commit to a schedule and they have to stick with it. And the reason is, like I said at the beginning of the presentation, we offer one-on-one tutoring with an exclusive tutor for your child. That means if your kid doesn't come, the tutor has nothing to come to or do. We've got tons of rules and policies that I will not bore you with at this time. I don't want to scare you off, but they can all be completely looked over on our website. We have a section for rules and policies. Tennis. I'm not actually very qualified to speak too much on this topic, but I will mention that yes, every student must play. Our name is East Palo Alto Tennis and Tutoring. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, why did we choose tennis and not soccer or basketball or hockey, which are all much cooler? Just kidding. Well, our founder was a man named Jeff Ahrens, and he was a Stanford tennis player, and because that was the sport that he used to first introduce the program to the community, it's something we've stuck with, and actually, it's something that we actually believe is a wonderful sport for our students to play. Not only is it an individual sport, which teaches them so many things about ownership and resilience, but it's a lifelong sport. It's something that kids can play when they get to their 60s and 70s and even 80s. When's the last time you saw a 70-year-old football player? Think about it. Now, LeBron James may push basketball to 40, but certainly not 50. Tennis, though, he could be the next Roger Federer. Students are required to make sure that they're dressed appropriately for tennis practice and that they give effort and have a good attitude. Tennis at EPATT is actually quite a lot of fun, and a lot of our tennis coaches are former students and graduates of the program. Now, I mentioned that I wasn't going to talk about all of the rules and policies because we have so many, but I do need to emphasize just a few. One of them I've already sort of touched on, and that is attendance. So let me tell you the number. Students are only allowed to miss 2 sessions per quarter. That's about 2 sessions in a 3-month period. And for the reasons that I already explained, it's because they have to be here for there to be something happening. If they don't come to the program enough, we're not going to be able to make an impact. If your child is going to be absent, please make sure that you call our office by 2 p.m. so that we can notify the tutors in enough time for them to change their plans. Another policy is that all students are required to turn in a copy of a progress report and final grades every quarter. Why? Because we use this information to find out how they're doing in school and to find out if the things that we're doing here are making an impact. Plus, a progress report is a great way for teachers to communicate with us about what we can do in the tutoring context and with you at home to make sure that what's going on at school even has more and more impact. Food and snacks. I mentioned that earlier, but I wanted to emphasize that because we're both an academic and an athletic program, we do encourage all the food brought to the program to be of a healthy nature. Healthy nature. So you see the pictures over here? Fruit, veggies, homemade stuff. So whatever your home specialty is, that's welcome here. We do understand that people are living on a budget, so we can help you think of creative ways to make a healthy meal that you can bring to EPATT that's also affordable. Just call our office. We've got plenty of suggestions. We're even building an EPATT parent cookbook for this very reason. Dress code. We're pretty much aligned with what the school's dress code is. We would also just include that the students must wear athletic clothing. That includes sneakers, so no open-toed shoes, no sandals, no Uggs, no jellies, tennis shoes. Transportation. Depending on when you're watching this and how old your kid is and what grade they're in and what school they attend, the transportation scenario may differ. So for more information on that, please be sure to contact our office to find out where we offer transportation from and the times. Are there any questions? Yes, you in the back. I'm just kidding. This is a video. I can't answer questions. But at the end, there's going to be an opportunity for you to respond to what you've heard today. And if you have questions, you'll be able to submit them there. Last but not least, there's a couple of administrative things that I need you to do before we move on. One of them is EPATT has its own parent app. So what you're going to see on the screen here is the instructions for how to sign up. So if you have a smartphone, please take it out and do the following. Open up your browser, which on an iPhone would be Safari. When you get to Safari, type in goepatt.goodbarber.com and it should open up and you'll see our calendar, you'll see some of our blogs, some of our videos. Once you have that, you're going to want to add that to your desktop if you can. If not, the instructions are here and we can help you if you come by the office. The parent app is really key because it's the easiest way for you to communicate with us about absences. You can see the calendar for dinner and snack. You can find out all the great cool things that are going on around EPATT by reading the blog and looking at the news reports. Sometimes we even publish the workshop assignments on our app. So when you have the EPATT app in your phone, it gives you full access to what's going on in the world of EPATT. Alright, so that's pretty much sums up a really basic orientation for the EPATT program. But believe me, you're going to learn a lot along the way. So I encourage you to call us, talk to us. The staff, here's a picture of the staff here, pretty cool people. We're all available as a resource to you because once you enter the EPATT family, you're EPATT for life. So we hope to see you soon. If you have any questions, please include them in the form. And wait for it, there's a quiz. So I want you to click the link associated with this video, take the online quiz, enter your questions, and that lets me know that you watched this video. My parting comments, I'm going to get a little philosophical here. Being a part of the EPATT program is not easy. I repeat, it is not easy because oftentimes we're going to be asking you to do things that you've never done before, that are uncomfortable, or that will stretch you and or your child. However, I hope that you understand that all that we're asking is a result of us sharing your goal to make sure that your child is college and career ready. So if you keep that goal in mind, and we keep that goal in mind, we'll be able to work through any and every situation that we encounter. So it's my pleasure to welcome you to the EPATT family.